Hello everybody. The video today is a little bit unusual. It's not exactly about chemistry, but it is about weight loss. This video is also going to be a little bit personal because I lost about 30 kilos in the last 3 years and I'll share a little bit of personal experience, although most of the video will be a review of a scientific paper as usual. So yeah, that's me 3-4 years ago, and this is me now, and here you can see the kilos going down with days passing. When I decided I need to lose some weight, the question I asked, what method should I use? Will it be intermittent fasting? That means eating only during some periods of the day and not eating at all the rest of the time. And people are usually talking about 8 hours of eating, 16 hours of fasting, or even less than 8. And the choice I made back then was not science-based, it was more like how I felt what would work for me. But the question actually remained, is this intermittent fasting beneficial for weight loss? And I had many friends that lost weight using intermittent fasting. Some were successful, some were less successful. And I also had other friends who lost weight using calories restriction. But is intermittent fasting useful by itself without calorie restriction? Or the people who lose weight using intermittent fasting lose weight because they eat less, and those gaps of fasting, which I personally didn't like because I hate the feel of hunger, are those periods of fasting contribute on their own? And I actually only now started to look for literature about it, and surprisingly there was not a lot. I mean, there were many studies, don't get me wrong, but their studies were about how the intermittent fasting can assist your health, like to increase insulin activities. And there are some publications that show that there is some health benefits of intermittent fasting. And there is still an open question whether those health benefits resulted from intermittent fasting and not from the weight loss, which resulted from eating less during the intermittent fasting. There was less studies, or almost no studies actually, about the particular effect of fasting on weight loss compared to simple calories restriction. A paper, actually one of the first papers of its kind published only recently to study this particular effect. This is the paper, and you see it was published in June, 3 months ago, right? And in this trial, I'm going to describe it briefly now. They studied particular effects of fasting versus energy restriction in lean adults. And that means that you have space for much more trials on obese adults or overweight adults. You can check in the future so many other things. I'll describe the experiments that they did. They made 3 groups of people. In each group there were 12 people. And first they asked them to record what they consume as a food for 4 weeks every day. That's something that I did when I was counting calories. So these were needed to set up a baseline. So people recorded, and after the 4 weeks they were asked to keep the following lifestyle for the next 4 weeks. So one group had to take 75% of normal food intake of the baseline that they recorded every day. Second group is basically the intermittent fasting with food restriction. So it's 150% of normal food intake, but every second day. So one full day, 24 hours fasting, and then eat anything that you want, but not more than 150% of calories. So together, same 75% per day, but every second day. And the last group, the control group, was also intermittent fasting, but without calories restriction. So they kept the regular calories and only eat every second day. Guess what were the results? Okay, here are the results. And they checked the total weight loss and particular fat weight loss. Also, they checked other things which I don't want to go into. It will take too long, and it's more about biochemistry and less interesting for me. The link for the paper in the description below, you can check by yourself. So in the group of only calorie restriction without intermittent fasting, the average weight loss for 4 weeks was between 1 and 3 kilos, while most of it was fat. And if you compare it to the intermittent fasting with calorie restriction, it seems like the calorie restriction without intermittent fasting works better. And if you compare both of those groups to the intermittent fasting without calorie restriction, and sorry to disappoint everyone who liked the idea of intermittent fasting, there was, well, almost no weight loss at all. This minus 0.5 area of error. Now, I am not a specialist in statistics. I don't know how statistically significant are those groups of 12 persons in each group. So if you understand better, please put your comment under the video. The authors claim that this is statistically significant. I cannot argue with that. So the conclusions and the results speak for themselves, and maybe a little bit of additional personal information sharing. So while losing weight, I did some of my own data recording. So yeah, that's the chart of weight loss during my calorie count period. It still continues. I continue counting calories, although I don't really need to lose any more weight. Keep the weight from going up. If you say, wow, that's so nice, such a nice chart. If you, let's say, check this short period in which I recorded weight every day, it looks much less impressive. So you see the weight actually go up and down. In the end, it goes down, but if you keep a diet and weigh yourself every day, don't be discouraged if you see some weight going up. It will go down eventually. Just keep your calorie count or intermittent fasting, whatever you find that works better for you, or both of them. And for now, thanks for your attention. Please subscribe to the channel, and of course, if you like this video, press like because more people will see it this way. Have a great day.